You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yes, man. Today's one is special. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are joining us, welcome to another exciting and brand new episode of Next Gen Plumbing. For those who don't know, Nedzina Langande Rendane Chivura, aka Randy, the number one MC. And man, oh man, today's episode is going to be nothing but epicness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a big brand here. You know, we're talking media, we're talking communications, we're talking Plumbing Africa. And of course, the Plumbing Africa magazine celebrates its 30th anniversary this year. I mean, I said it earlier. You're on the third floor. That's 3 decades. And to get there, it means there's a lot that's been put in. And that's what the discussion is going to be all about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we decided to bring in, come on, a legend in our industry. You know, one of the people who actually were the reason why this exists till today. And of course, he's joined by the son, the second legend as well, yeah? Because the legendary thing has a continuation. That's what it is. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be highlighting the journey of how amazing this big brand within the plumbing industry has grown. So I don't want to waste any time. Let me introduce to you our amazing guests. And some of them, in fact, both of them, you know, are quite familiar in these spaces. I mean, you know, they're quite key contributors within the plumbing industry. It's not the first time you'll see them on our podcasts. But I'll start with, you know, the next legend and move on to the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, in the midst of our presence, he is the business unit lead at Interact Media. Ladies and gentlemen, Interact Media defined. I have to be specific. Make sure you give a warm welcome to the one and only Sean Macnamara. This is where I'm going to ask Sam to add some effects. Beep, 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 beeps. Sean, how are you doing?
Rendani, well and you. Thanks very much for having me.
Can't complain. I'm very well. I'm excited. You know, whenever you're in studio, it means we're going to talk a lot, right? I'm a man of very few words. Well, people deny that. But today's going to be exciting. And of course, he's not alone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, listen to this description. The person we also have in studio today is, I'll start off with retired. We've had it a few times, you know. I'll say this, retired salesman, retired photographer, retired journalist, retired, I mean, what else are we going to put in there, yeah? He does it all, legendary, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, and he represents, of course, Interact Media, defined the Plumbing Africa magazine. I look up to this man so much. When I got into the plumbing industry, he's one of the first few people I engaged with, and man, I learned so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Once again, Sammy, make sure you add that effect into the introduction of the one and only Mr. Rori Macnamara.
Thank you, Rondani. Thanks very much also for having me here.
Thank you so much, Rori.
With my father.
I see what you did there. I'm so excited to have you both in studio because, I mean, we're talking 30 years of something spectacular. And I use the word spectacular because it's one of the most powerful communication forces within the plumbing industry, you know, and it connects everyone, irrespective of where you are in the country. We get to understand what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Plumbing Africa magazine. But Rori, allow me to start with you. You know, I'll still say it again. What an honor to have you on the show. It's for me, it's something truly special because I wish people could understand, you know, your journey. And that's why this part is very important. Let's start off with where does this young man come from? Okay. When were you born? Where did you grow up? How did this journey start? I mean, I still emphasize 30 years of something professional, growing every day is not something easy to start. It shows there's some fantastic leadership attributes there. But let's start from the inception. Who is Rori Macnamara?
Rondani, you don't want me to go back 79 years. That I can tell you. It's yes. I see the question. Where did I go to school?
Yes.
Both Sean and I,
yes,
and his younger brother, went to the best government school in South Africa,
Come on.
Queen's College in Queenstown.
Okay.
Now, Kumani,
There we go.
called Kumani, which was actually a mental institution as well. And yes, after that, I was a lousy scholar.
Okay.
Terrible scholar.
So you're from the Eastern Cape, basically.
That's it. Well, I was born in Johannesburg.
Okay.
But circumstances were such that boarding school was the way for me.
Yes.
And then, as I say, I went through my schooling.
Yes.
I did enjoy it. Boarding school taught me independence.
Yes.
And as I say, we went at the school together.
Yeah.
He went a few years after me. And then after that, conscription, compulsory, there for 3 years. And then at the end of the third year, they then made it 10 years.
Whoa, okay.
So I'm of the nature that I'd make the best out of a bad situation.
Come on, yeah.
And I was put into the South African Irish Regiment.
Yes.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was a non-commissioned officer.
Yeah.
And it was great fun.
Come on.
If you could actually say that the army was great fun.
Yeah. But you learned a lot there.
Well, yes, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I was. I qualified as a signaller, and our regiment never ever had a signals officer. So I found myself
Come on.
being the acting signals officer,
Okay.
telling permanent force majors and colonels to get out of the signals room. It was a lot of pleasure.
So communication started there,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because. As far as studying concerned, I'd say I was a lousy scholar, but I did afterwards do a little certificate course in industrial psychology.
Okay.
And then moved into work.
Yeah.
Working, first job was at Goldfields.
Okay.
In the personnel department. It was first now called HR.
Yes.
Hence the industrial psychology tie-up. And that first job was counting houses in Lebanon.
Wow.
Gold mine.
Wow.
As
Yeah.
part of that process.
Yes.
So not actually counting the houses. I don't think anybody moved the houses. But it was making sure that they were occupied, they were looked after,
Yes.
and all of that. I then moved into the publishing industry, which is, probably about, I've been in publishing 60 years.
Come on.
And related mainly in the building industry. And in about 1987, I left the company I was working for.
Yes.
And started on my own, called Mara Communications.
Yes.
No surprise as to why it was called Mara Communications.
It's got the slogan and the last name effect, yeah.
And that function was really to be a publisher's representative, that is representing other magazines on the sales side, and then. I took on the position of executive director of the Specialist Press Association, which represented the trade, technical, and professional publishing industry.
But Rori, I have to stop you there. You say it's so simple. You took over the executive directorship of that. That shows the amount of influence you already had in the industry already. He says it like, I took on this executive director role. But please continue, yes.
Yeah, and it needed building up. It was very much a voluntary organization, but now we built this up. We created, and it's always like that word "we" because we had a team,
collective,
there, voluntary board. And created what was known as the Piker Awards. Piker has a printing term coming out of the lead printing industry.
Yes.
And these awards grew and grew and grew, and sadly no longer existed. I was supposed to be in that job for 5 years. I ended up doing it for 12.
Sure.
Because I said I would go back into publishing with an international partner.
Yes.
Because we were getting close to democracy arriving.
Yes.
And 1994, it happened. And I was offered this position with a publishing company. And it was in that's where they linked up with a German publishing company who was very keen to start a plumbing publication. They were in, they call it sanitary heating, but plumbing. And they were also in refrigeration as well.
Yeah.
The company, sadly, was not in a very good state. And it eventually, I was general manager there, and I just said, well, guys, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And the partners, they agreed, and they decided to liquidate the company. I then put in an offer for plumbing.
Yes.
And which I accepted. And as I said in my article, I came home to my dear late wife and said to her, hey, we've got a publication. I bought a publication. There was no sort of pat on the back or congratulations. It just said, with what? Which was a very good question.
Yes.
We had no money. We had 4 kids to look after. We had 4, then 3 or 4 kids to look after. However, the bank was very helpful.
Yes.
And I took over.
They saw the vision.
Yeah.
They saw the vision.
Well, yes. He called it venture capital. He said, go and put in venture capital over 5 years. So yes, well, it's 30 years since we took it over as Plumbing Africa Pty Limited. Yes. That's what it was in the beginning. And it was not in a good space. The founders had made some outrageous promises, and which impacted on IOPS. And my first job was to sit down with Bill Randall and the then executive director. Gosh, I can't remember his name now. Oh, he was a legend. I'll think of it while we go along. And just explain to them, why it's just impossible to do it. The industry was not big enough to carry that. And then they said, fine, let's give you a chance. Let's get on with it. We want a magazine.
Yes.
And then I had to go to the advertisers, few advertisers that we had in those days, not the mass that we have now. Well, not advertisers, but suppliers and manufacturers. Yes. And it wasn't very. It's printed on 80 GSM paper, just cheap stuff. Yeah. And the cover wasn't very impressive. That was it all. So I said, right, I'll upgrade it. Yes. And that's what you see today. Yeah. It's nice paper. It's good paper, quality paper. The cover is nice. It looks like a trade and technical magazine.
100%. Yeah.
And that is actually what was the start. They gave me the chance, for which I'm very grateful, because if those guys had not given me the chance, I'd been dead before I started, owing the bank a lot of money, which I couldn't pay them back. Yeah. So, and I know there were some of the older plumbers now who probably remember this with a smile. And they said, why on earth would you buy something that's in debt? Well, yeah, that's the way it went. And so, we come to where we are now, the uphills, the downhills. And as in any business, you have more downhills than you have uphills. But it's the uphills that make you learn from the downhills, but make you forget.
100%.
And that's how Plumbing Africa came to be
Come
what it
on.
is today.
Come on. As you were speaking, I could see this visually. And I know we're going to have one of the hard copies. I want to show people how the magazine has evolved. We're going to bring one of the hard copies throughout the episode. I'm going to show them. It's so interesting, Sean. I think you're one of the most, and I have to bring Sean in, Rory. You're probably one of the most fortunate human beings on earth. Firstly, to be mentored by someone who is this brave to invest. I mean, starting a business in an era where there's uncertainty because there's no guarantee that it's going to be successful. But having that vision to understand there's an industry, there's a gap, and we can actually fill this takes a lot of guts. And I mean, Sean, last time you were here, you're a legend in the making yourself. I get to see Sean around the country, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere we go, through the PTE. And it's so amazing to just see how you have learned and grasped and taken so much. We spoke last time about the importance of media and communication and how much value it adds within the plumbing industry. But now this is 30 years. This is a lot of growth. And you heard what Rori mentioned. You started from a certain perspective or certain point, moving up to a certain level, going up, taking the risks. I'm sure he's romanticized half the journey. But let's talk about the celebration. Let's focus on the 30-year anniversary and the growth of Plumbing Africa magazine from your perspective.
Well, Rendani, first of all, from a team perspective, we are honored to be a part of Plumbing Africa, the brand Plumbing Africa, and the legacy of Rori and Plumbing Africa. I want to emphasize the we and the team. I've been in the business for 17, 18 years. Dale, my brother's been in the business for, I think, a bit longer than 30 years. We keep losing count because he was in and out at the beginning. My younger brother has also been in the business for actually a similar time to me. So, and there's a whole team behind Plumbing Africa and IMD as a business. And it's not only about the people within IMD, it's also about the community. It's about the plumbers. It's about the advertisers. It's about everyone in the community.
All the stakeholders.
It's all of the stakeholders, because without everyone, this would not be a success. And everyone has worked together to make Plumbing Africa the brand that it is. It's exactly what Rori was saying at the beginning. If AOPSA didn't give Rori the leverage and kind of the backing at the beginning, it may not be where it is today. We work very closely with AOPSA to and associations in general, to industry bodies in general, to make it what it is. So we are honored to be a part of this the success, and will continue to make it successful for the next 100 years.
Come on, that's what I was about to get to. I was like, it's one thing now having a legacy, but it's not easy continuing it, making sure, are there any plans and visions to expand even further? I'm sure they are, and I don't know, I don't want to put you in a spot where you want to share too much, and perhaps expose good strategy. But I mean, vision moving forward, where we seeing it?
Well, we always want to innovate, and our game is sharing information. We're in the publishing game, and it's all about educating the audience. So I was actually doing some research in Southern Cape.
Yeah.
Because I was just fascinated to know how many plumbers there were in George.
Yes.
I just wanted
We
to.
were there. We were recently there. Yeah.
I was just interested to know how many were there.
Yeah.
But of course, I couldn't find out how many plumbers there were in George specifically.
Yes.
And it told me that in 2021, based on some stats, there are 125,000 plumbers in South Africa. This is if you can rely on Google.
Probably statistics.
AI.
Yeah.
And we know that a drop in the ocean is actually registered.
Yes.
Nowhere near 125,000 are registered.
Yeah.
And we know that there's a challenge with the quality of plumbing in South Africa. So we're all about educating plumbers, making sure that we uplift the plumbers' knowledge, and make sure that we can get, if there are 125,000 plumbers or more, how do we register all of those plumbers?
Yes.
How do we make sure that plumbers in South Africa are doing a great job and are recognized as a trade?
Come on.
A proper trade.
Yes.
So we want to be finding ways and getting out there to educate the plumbers.
Yeah.
And that's why we do the likes of PTE. We're getting out there.
Yes. Yes.
Even if we find an extra 50 plumbers or 100 plumbers or 250 plumbers, those are plumbers that we didn't necessarily know beforehand. We now have them on our books. We can talk to them.
Yes.
And that's everyone involved.
And the communication has a ripple effect amongst their communities as well. It goes even further than what we realize.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all the parties involved are doing that. And the more plumbers that we can get our hands on, the more plumbers we can talk to.
Come on.
And the more plumbers we can, I think. Obviously, there's AI tools involved.
Yes.
So how do we use AI to get this knowledge to plumbers, to teach the plumbers, to make information, good information, available to plumbers.
I love that. You know, here's an interesting part. So what we also do here within the PRB, which is quite important, is we talk to the next generation of plumbers. You know, we visit TVET colleges, which I know you also do as well, you know, part of the events. And I'll give an example with Blue Lever Education. I know you've been part of that as well. But what I'm finding exciting is there's an influx of young people who have a changed perception around how plumbing is and its value proposition in society. And these young people are coming with also innovative ways of communicating, which also puts you in a fantastic position. You spoke about adaptability for IR, you know, things are digitizing and which is quite exciting as well. But I also love the fact that you've acknowledged the team, the system, you know, the interdependency where everyone plays a different role and has added value to ensuring that you've reached this point of success. And I have to talk about this part. Rori has mentioned at some point, this is now the word continuity, all right? Rori has mentioned at some point that he has been retiring, yeah? I think a few years ago I spoke to Rori's like, nah, Rendani, I'm done, I'm finished. All of a sudden you find him on that horse again and he's riding, you know? Are you still actively involved? Are you on a day-to-day of operations? And I mean, is it easy to let go? You know, because let's be open about this. When you see a baby become a youngster, then a teenager, a young adult, and an adult, and you see its growth and its strength and how it's adapted to society. Is it really easy to show? I mean, we gotta be honest. How are you gonna retire from this? You know, have you retired? Are you still actively involved? What's the status, Rori, actually? Yeah.
No, it's just keeping people on their toes. If they think I'm going, they think I'm going, and then I come back and hit them on that side, which some people might find disappointing.
Yes.
But you know, one thing, Renati, that really boosts my passion. You mentioned Blue Lever and other training colleges, and when I talk to these youngsters, and I say, right, okay, when you qualify, what are you going to do? We're going to go back to our our provinces, our home, and we're going to carry on there.
Yes.
That to me is exciting.
Yes.
Because and that's endears the sort of passion all the time.
Yes.
That these folks recognize what's happening in their areas, and they're going to go back and give back to their community. They're not going to sit here in Joburg and try and find a job which is it's well covered.
Yes.
So, yeah, I go back to the retirement thing. It's always been my dear late wife. She retired, and I was expected to retire with her. Well, we would appoint somebody, and then that wouldn't work out. So that it held me back. I didn't have this kind of backing that we have now.
Yeah.
So it really was more about filling these gaps that unfortunately kept cropping up all the time. Well, that's my excuse.
Yeah.
Sean came into it, and Dale and Andrew as directors. They said, right, okay, we need to bring this to an end, because I'm not going to be around for all that long. And or if I am, I'm not going to be much use to anybody.
There's a lot of wisdom there, Rori. There's a lot of wisdom, yeah.
So I am what I expect we call semi-retired. I'm retained by the company to do the jobs that would otherwise take the lean and mean team away from the main function.
Yes.
And so that's really what I do. And then I have my own time where I'm not in a hurry to find something else to do.
Yeah.
But if anybody knows any charity work that needs to be done or anything like that, I'd like to get involved in that.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
And then fit it in between being at the office or taking on jobs. So I'm half retired.
Half retired. Yeah. At least now we know. You see. But I want to speak into Ag Media while we're on that. You know, for success to come through, key components need to be established, and you need a strong team. You know, how important was it to get the right fit of people? People like Sean, who have learned from you and obviously grasped so much information, and now you can say, here's the baton.
Yeah.
Continue it. How important was that decision making of placing the right people to form a good team?
It's essential. You know, I learned in my early days that everybody does these organograms.
Yes.
You know, with the big boss at the top there. And our late chairman, Graham Langmead, he said, there's only one way to treat an organogram.
Yeah.
Turn it upside down.
Come on.
And there's your important people moving down to the leader.
Come on.
And I've lived with that philosophy for a long time. Bearing in mind that I knew Graham Langmead for when I was a little squirt selling to him at J. Walter Thompson.
Come on.
60 years ago or something. But yes, it's important that one really does, and Sean has emphasized it, is when you build up this team, it's never constant, certainly, but then you don't want people to be there with you all the time. You want them to move on. You want them to be successful.
Yes.
So change will always happen.
Yes.
Just that we went through a period with Plumbing Africa where change was happening a little bit too quickly.
In some organizations, it happens, you know. It's seasonal.
You know, it's very demanding.
Yeah.
Plumbing is highly regulated. And, of course, you know, if you want to write for a publication like Plumbing Africa, you need to know your standards. You need to know how they fit in.
Well
you need
informed.
to know what is. And I think a couple of the youngsters, as delightful as they were, this was just too much alcohol.
It was overwhelming.
But of those, the few that I still keep in contact with on LinkedIn, they're all doing well.
Come on.
They're all doing very well for themselves. Yeah. They've identified. We helped them on their way.
Yes.
And that is one thing that I pride myself on, that we've allowed them to go on instead of trying to persuade them to stay with us, because anybody persuaded to stay there and doing it because they don't want to, that's a danger.
Yes.
So we push them on, go, enjoy.
Yeah.
And I still have visions of the upside down organic wrap.
I'm not going to forget that. Actually, this is I'm going to use that.
I'm going to charge you for that.
You just trademark these things. I think the key word here is empowerment. There's a lot of people that have been empowered. And I want to bring Sean back into the discussion because, as communication contributors within our industry, critical contributors, because you contribute when it comes to the essence of information, which essentially determines our growth. That's the truth. We still have a responsibility of changing perception of how our industry entirely is viewed. We still have the responsibility of educating the next generation on breaking away from stereotypes, such as plumbing is just for men. So the basics as well. And actually plumbing can be viewed as glamorous because ultimately plumbing is responsible for transporting the most valuable commodity on earth, which is water. Which brings me to this part, Sean. How and where do we see Plumbing Africa fitting into that position, especially now that things are changing? The next generation is coming in, Are they readers? Are they more visual? I know you're thinking about these areas as well, especially because you want to hit the masses with the right information. Where are we going to see Plumbing Africa moving forward to continue this great legacy and to ensure that it adapts to whatever new seasons come along?
Yeah, Rendani, it's a very good question. And it all comes down to the involvement in the industry, and working with the key stakeholders.
Yes.
So again, our expertise is publishing and coming out with this glamorous Plumbing Africa.
Yes.
Which we don't have a copy of.
We're getting a copy. We're getting a copy. We need a copy. Let's get a copy of Plumbing Africa, guys. We're getting a copy,
So, and kind of sharing the information on all the various platforms, including PTE. But the reality is that in order for us to give relevant information and to be on point, we need to work very closely with the key stakeholders. And that's how we keep on top of the game. That's how we build good relationships within the industry with key stakeholders. We work very closely with the key stakeholders. We keep on top of the game. We keep on top of the trends. And that's how we make sure that the information that we are disseminating is relevant and useful and helpful to the industry.
But as you're talking, it's not an easy industry because you need to gain information, right? Encode messaging, literally then ensure accuracy of information. Then comes the research component as well. That requires a lot of determination and also consistency. Can we touch on that as well? I think people need to understand it's not easy. This requires true passion and dedication, or else it's easy to collapse.
Absolutely. And once again, we're not the experts, and we rely very heavily on the experts of the industry. And we work very closely with the experts of the industry. You'll notice that some of the content is what we call contributed. Where we work with the experts who basically either contribute or we will go and interview various experts in the industry, and then obviously we've got the expertise from a journalist editorial point of view, where we will actually write up the the content. So it's all about engaging with the correct people in the industry and then sharing that information. That's why it's always great to engage with with those involved in the plumbing industry, because then it's all about them.
100%.
It's giving them information that is relevant to the plumbing industry.
It's systematically connected.
Yes, correct.
Everyone has to play their role. In that being said, I have to show people we've been bragging. All right, this is not just any ordinary magazine. Look at the quality. Yeah. Listen, I was not persuaded to promote it this way. It's a reality. I mean, look at the quality. Look at the information that's there. There's Mr. Macnamara right there. Yeah. There's so much we can even touch on. I mean, this is the type of quality we're talking about. And it also enhances the quality of how people will view plumbing in general as well. You know, because let's be honest, in the past, plumbing has never been viewed as a glamorous industry. It's always been viewed as a secondary or third option. After law panel beats me, let me run to plumbing. Let me go see if I can make a plan there. And I mean, it's such important moments where we have to recognize the contribution of such organizations, such entities, such brands in ensuring that, listen, there's a respectable part of our industry. And it's important for people to understand that, listen, we're growing. We are the future, and the future is now. And we're not going to be apologetic about that. I love what you've been saying. I want to put Rori on the spotlight here. You know, he's probably going, Randani. Rori, I didn't even, I did this intentionally. You know, it's very impromptu. If you had to look at the younger you today and send a message to that young person, the young Rori, what would you say to young Rori? Looking at Rori now, the mature Rori, the one full of wisdom, the one who went through, oh man, the roller coaster rides, full of emotions. What would you tell young Rori today?
I would certainly, and I do tell youngsters when I talk to them, Blue Lever, and that I go onto those trips, you know, with them.
Yes.
And it's fascinating to see. There's a lot of young Rories out there.
Yeah.
Is go for a trade.
Come on.
Dr. Nzimande, when he was Education Minister,
yes.
When he in fact awarded PIRB their certificate,
yes,
whatever it was, SAQC,
yes,
SAQC, he said we get 4 graduates to one trade, and we need to turn that around. And we have to. And to youngsters, you carry on. It's hard. So what? Life's hard.
Life's hard.
It's what you make it. So young Rori wouldn't have in what is it now, grade 10, I think it is, when you could then go to a technical school.
Yes.
I would have done that. I should have done that. I don't know that I would have made a good plumber. But, you know, there's a lot of trades out there. I think I would have been a brilliant electrician. But,
you don't get us into that debate, right? You know, we can survive load shedding. We've survived it. Try water shedding, yeah.
But I think that is the message to young people. Is it's nice having a degree, obviously, but if that degree is too broad, you're not going to find a place to fit yourself in.
100%.
You're going to be very depressed. You're going to be down.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about doctors and lawyers and professionals.
Yes.
Obviously, we need them. We don't need 4 of them to one plumber. We need it the other way around. And I really, that's my message.
Come on.
Blonde Rori.
It's still got the shine. It's still got the shine. I love that. And I hope young people have just grasped that message, because there's a lot of power in what has just been said. Take the leap, go for a trade. I think the biggest problem is also educational wise. In school, I don't know about now, but back in the days, they'd make you feel like you're not going to make it if you don't have maths and science, and you don't become a doctor, or you don't become a lawyer or an accountant. There were certain professions that were regarded as high level, and I think the education system needs to change the approach. Make sure we expose the value in all industries, all careers, because I always say this. If we're sitting around the table and there's a lawyer, there's a doctor, there's a pilot, there's whatever, at the end of the day, even that lawyer, that CEO, that pilot uses the toilet, all right? Drinks water, takes a shower, is highly affected by our industry on a day-to-day basis. So we're probably the heartbeat of society. And which then now, Sean, brings me to this part. And I want to open it to both of you, What message would you want to leave your potential listeners who haven't really understood the power of this brand? Moving forward, how do we encourage them to continue reading, to continue partaking? Now, that's not just for the potential reader. Let's talk about potential stakeholders, because there's a lot more that can actually still venture and add value into this. What message would you want to leave them with when it comes to where Plumbing Africa is headed towards?
I think there are so many untapped opportunities. There's so many apathetic people out there. Everyone's so busy. Everyone's making a living.
Yeah.
And, we always just don't have enough time to focus on what's really important. And you've just said it.
Yeah.
Plumbing and water is so important.
Yeah.
So, whatever we can do to just make it more of a focus. So yes, even if we take, and just to use by example, plumbers got to make money. They've got to, our PTE shows. We're organizing an event where we've got 20 to 25 manufacturers and suppliers at one place.
Yes.
This is an opportunity for a plumber to go and engage with 20 to 25 manufacturers and suppliers for anything from 1 hour to 4 hours.
Yeah.
You've been to the events
100%.
where they can talk to them, they can touch and feel the latest technology, they can talk through concerns that they have, problems that they're having, installation problems that they're having, whatever the case may be. And they may not come because they're chasing they've got to put food on their
100%,
table. But they also got to make the time for education because what would it cost to go and individually go and sort out 20 to 25 problems with the manufacturers and suppliers? It's going to cost way more than
100%.
possibly 4,000 Rand revenue generation. So one has to make the time to improve the industry. And that applies to everyone and all the stakeholders in the industry. So it's about putting more time into it. Guys can engage with us as Plumbing Africa. As I mentioned in the last podcast, we work very closely with the industry. There's a lot more people that can work with us. If any of the plumbers, any of the engineers have exciting projects that they're doing that the industry can learn from, they don't have to write up the project for us. They just need to let us know. Let us know. If they'd like to receive the magazine, it's freely distributed. Just let us know. We can disseminate that information to them. They can get it print, online, social media. It's all available. Obviously, if the advertisers are interested, again, they can also talk to us. And it's not only from financial point of view, the technology that
Come
they
on.
have.
Yeah.
Let them talk to us about it.
Yes.
That we can share that with the market. How is that technology improving the life of a plumber?
I love that, Sean. You know, that's why I was actually quite, when you were talking, I got stuck into what you were saying. But it's all about everyone bringing their part into making sure that we achieve a common vision, the growth of our industry. And I think it's also important to make people aware that, I always say this show is all about career awareness as well. You know, there is an opportunity of being part of the plumbing industry from a communications perspective. You know, you can earn a good living, you can have a good life. You don't necessarily also have to be technical. So you can see how broad this is. It's just a matter of having the right passion and vision, which no one can give. It has to come from oneself. So to the youngsters that are watching this episode, I hope you are encouraged to understand that there's a lot more than just being technical, which very much technical is the heartbeat of what we do. But there's a lot more that one can do. And I mean, 30th anniversary, I call it the third floor, making it to this level, celebrating your legacy, your contribution in the plumbing industry, wrapping it up in style. Yes, Mr. Rori, I don't want to leave anything out.
No,
Please.
you know, I always have the last word.
Of course,
Okay?
I have to. Please, add on. Yes.
Well, Sean was speaking there,
Yes.
and what you're saying, plumbers can be, and some of them are, a very integral part of contributing to the thing. The industry is going through a very difficult time.
Yes.
As you know, illegal geezers is probably the biggest thing at the
100%.
moment.
Yeah.
Now, we wouldn't be able to get there, and our officer wouldn't be able to get there if the plumbers were feeding us information.
Yes.
And we've had tremendous success with attending raids.
Yes.
Now, a raid is not just going there. It's got to get a court order. It's got the police accompany you. And it's not just a constable. Not that there's anything wrong with the constable.
But yes.
This is a lieutenant colonel that accompanies you.
Yes.
And when I went on the first raid, I said, "Hey, where's my bulletproof vest?" But that is actually important. Anything they come across,
Come on.
that they find, that they think of interest, they'll let us know.
Yeah.
And we can follow it up, because we take the risks, but it's their magazine. So, and you know, very surprising, and this is it. I was interviewing some 3 youngsters with their mentors at a very well-established plumbing company, and owned by one of our, you'll probably kill me, elderly members.
Vintage. All right. Class. Legacy. Yeah.
yeah, one of our legacy plumbers. Yeah. You know, I said to the youngsters, all right, and this is where I got that, you know, they're going back to their communities.
Yes.
And the owner of the business came through and he said, "Hell, I love your internet." What? And I said to the youngsters, "What do you read?" They said, "Do you read the hard copy?"
Yeah.
Because that's what they're going to see, feel, touch.
Yes.
And, you know, it comes back to where they are part of that through contributing, by contributing that. And as you know, it goes through IOPSA. We are the messengers. It's probably the best way to do it.
Yes.
But yeah, we're very nosy messengers.
Yeah.
And coming back to what Sean says, we're involved in the industry.
Yes.
Where, you know, nobody gets away with anything with us.
Yeah. You put positive pressure, which is good. Yeah. You keep everyone on their toes, like, hey, watch out. You know. And that's why I have to emphasize this. This is an absolutely, for me, a true honor to be engaging, both of you, on the basis of you're playing a critical role, a role where information is shared, encoded, decoded, sent back, feedback. The activity around plumbing is highly influenced by this, based on the communication that's going out. And I think it's quite important to acknowledge that, and I'm still going to emphasize it, 30 years and still fast growing, and being a part of the industry that's the heartbeat of society. It's important to recognize your greatness. You don't settle for good once you understand great. And what you've done is great. And I know you're probably going, stop it, Rendani, stop it. Okay, enough now. But it's important to highlight.
I'm still going to have the last one.
So, in that being said, I always feel like, whenever I'm having a great conversation, I see Sammy's giving me the eye. Sammy's going, hey.
Sorry, Sammy.
Anati's going, But please.
Rendani,
yes.
The one thing about Plumbing Africa from day one, we only accept national standard as advertisers or in editorial.
Come on.
Okay.
Very important to highlight.
And the reason being that plumbers must also realize that they have to abide by those standards.
Yes.
Those are compulsory regulations.
Yes.
So, and we will continue that. I trust we will continue that.
It's definitely there.
That standard, because my gosh, out of 7,000 standards that the SABS do, pretty fair percentage of those are plumbing related or water related. And I think that's a very important thing. We've stood by that, and I think that has helped our growth.
Come on. So there's no compromise when it comes to compliance.
No.
That's the most important part.
Not at all. Simply because if you lose that, you're dead.
And literally, it impacts people in that direct way. If it's done incorrect, it can harm, damage, or even kill. Gentlemen, final words of closure. What message do you want to leave with the viewers?
You.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having us here.
It's
for
absolute pleasure.
Celebrating our 30th milestone, 30 years of the next 100.
Come on now, there we go. We're getting to that century.
And I think it's fitting to say thank you very much to the industry for the support that they've shown us over the last 30 years, because without the industry, we wouldn't be where we are. And we are very appreciative of that. And we look forward to their support for the next 100 years.
Come on, there we go. You heard it. Yeah. It's almost like a lease agreement.
Government lease.
Yeah. Rori, your side, final words in closure.
I can only reiterate what Sean has said.
Come on.
Without the industry, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
The industry, and I have to express my admiration for the qualified plumbers who have to put up with cut prices, inferior product, non-compliance, but they stick to it. And we express our admiration to them and thank them for doing that.
Yeah.
Because that CEO that goes to the toilet and showers, and that he and she needs to be thanking them as well.
I love that. And it's also important to remind the homeowner, you have the power. You decide if we're going to be professional or not. They can't compromise in their decision because they have the buying power. They decide which plumber to use. Are you going to use Uncle John, who's the mechanic, who's the plumber, electrician, who's basically jack of all trades, but a master at none? Or are you going to use the professional, the licensed PRB plumber, to ensure that professionalism goes throughout in every space of society? Yeah.
homeowner, important one, sorry.
No, please talk, Rori.
The homeowner is critical
Yes.
because under the Consumer Protection Act,
Yes.
they are responsible for the decisions they make.
Yes.
And ultimately, if they employ the mechanic or, mechanics, do look after my
They
car.
understand. Yeah. Yes.
An unqualified person, then they are going to take the risk and they're going to be responsible
Yes.
if ever it goes before the Consumer Commission.
Yeah.
And you don't want to face the Consumer Commission.
That's
They'll
too
try
much.
you, I'll tell you that.
I hope you're hearing this, consumers. I hope you're hearing this. Yeah. But you're right. You're 100% correct. That's why we recognize all the stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly honored to be in the midst of these legends. Legend, because the continuation of legendary is here. I can feel it. And a big shout out to this amazing brand. Happy 30th anniversary, Plumbing Africa. And like we said, we're going to hit that century. 100 years, 100 more years to come. But I said this off air, Rori, and I have to say it to him, Sean. I said this, and you asked me, this legend title, what's going on? I'm like, listen, Rori, it's important to give people their flowers while they can still smell. I've been in the industry for a bit of time, not as much as you guys have been in the industry, but in that bit of time, I've learned so much from you. I've seen your dedication. Rori still makes sure he gets the right angle with the photo, just stand straight, you get it, as much as he's retired, if you find him at a PTE, you'll still see him walking around, engaging, because you just can't separate the natural you, the leader within you. Thank you for your contribution to this industry, and thank you for the wisdom you're still going to share to the next generation. And thank you for the continuation, because if there's no communication, there's limited growth. I want to give you your roses. I hope they smell good. I don't know what color they are. It's up to you to decide, But you are a legend. In our eyes, within the plumbing industry, Sean, the baton is there. All right, I'm here. 100 years, let's go. Yeah.
And I'll be excused from the 100 years.
Well, what an amazing episode. And thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us today. This is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorites. It's definitely.
Thank you to all those in the background.
There we go.
Make this happen.
Anati, we've got you. We see you, Sammy. We see you guys. You see now, we're getting brownie points for adding them in the production. Now they must know, yeah? But thank you to all our viewers. Thank you to everyone. Please make sure you still touch base with us on our social media, on our digital platforms. Website is www.pirb.co.za. On Facebook, on Instagram, and X, it's at PIRBSA. Make sure you subscribe, follow our YouTube channel, and get those notifications, because we want to keep you informed. Hashtag Plumbing Africa, hashtag 30-year anniversary. We got to put the hashtag PTE in as well. And I'm going to close it off in style. This is going to be one of my favorite ones to do. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yes, man.